Welcome to Community Connections with Children's Services Council of St. Lucie County. I'm just one of your humble hosts, Sean Boyle. With me is
Ashley Mock.
And welcome to the half-hour television program, thanks to a wonderful partnership with St. Lucie Public Schools, specifically WLX TV, where we talk about resources and things that are available for children in St. Lucie County. Now, with a word of caution, as you explore this half hour with us, we are not media professionals. However, if you do what my son taught me, which is you watch TV on YouTube, and you look up WLX TV and you go and find Community Connections, you can see the history of this show because we started in a small radio station and now we're here in the big studio.
I was going to say it's a long history. We don't know how long, but it's long.
And you can be the judge to tell us if we've gotten any better at this. But well, at the Children's Services Council, clearly established we are not media professionals, but what we do for our community, our team, our board, our council, everybody, we concentrate on 5 priorities. And those priorities are 1, making sure every baby's a healthy baby. 2, stopping child abuse before it happens. 3, keeping kids off the streets. 4, keeping them in school. And 5, keeping them off drugs, alcohol, and other risky behaviors. And we do that by making programs available to all families in St. Lucie County in those categories.
And while this show is a very entertaining way for you to learn about those programs, we have lots of ways that you can get connected to us. Obviously on our website at cscslc.org.
I still think we gotta kind of like the YMCA. I don't know how you do the yes.
There's a lot of movements in there. We love our acronyms. We know it's kind of hard to say, cscslc.org. It's a lot of letters there. But our website has a ton of information about all of our funded program partners and the work that they are doing in the community. We also have, Sean brought props, so I'm gonna show them to you. Our family guide to programs, which if you've followed us for a long time, has been shrinking over time. So it's getting smaller and smaller. We're now down to this 1 page, more programs, smaller publication.
We're eventually going to issue a small, tiny magnifying glass with this directory.
A business card, 1 business card. No, but all of our funded program partners are listed on this page along with their contact information. So if there is something that you are looking for your family or to help a friend or a coworker, you can find connections to all of our programs there. And as always, you can call us. People still use the phone to call our office at 408-1100, and we'll try to connect you to whatever it is that you're looking for.
You're like, Sean, Ashley, I'm new school. I don't use paper.
What is that?
We have this card. It's still technically paper, but it's thicker. But it's a little summary of who we are and what we do, but it has a neat little, where is it? A neat little QR code where you can scan it with your phone and pull up our directory as well.
Yeah, and again, we talk about this often. We talk about in the community often making sure that people know about the resources. I think I shared with you last week, I was in a meeting where people were talking about how nobody knows about what's available to them. And so our challenge, I guess, for our viewers would be we don't expect you to be experts. We are the experts. But share this information with somebody. If you know somebody that's looking for something for their child or their family, just mention that you saw this show and that you know that we have resources available. They can call and reach out to us, and we'll get them connected to something that's available for them in the community.
Look, we want you to watch this show, but it's a monthly show, so we're only bringing 12 resources on a year, but there's 50 plus.
Right, exactly.
And we just finished something pretty exciting because we expand in the summer.
We do. Well, the summer is a big time for kids. There's no school happening, obviously. So we
Do you think there's some parents celebrating that their kids are back to school now?
1,000%.
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
1,000%. I did. But we do expand. All of our after school programs turn into summer programs, summer learning programs.
They're like transformers.
They are. It's a cool thing to happen. But we also offer additional locations for programs in the summer. And this year, we just ran kind of the analysis, the numbers. We were able to offer spots to an additional 2,900 children in our community who had access to low or no cost summer learning programs, which is incredible. And we'll share some more of the statistics because we're actually getting ready to talk to our board about them. But the kids got opportunities to learn about STEM, to do career exploration. They got to visit through our summer passport program. They got to visit local attractions and learn about our community and get even more invested in what's happening here. So really cool things that happened. Plus there's a learning component. So of all the kids that were served, 70% of them met performance measures that either enhanced or increased their learning objectives over the summer, which is all we could ask for.
And if I remember right, and if I read it right, and I could be wrong, but I believe because we don't call it summer activities or summer camps, we call it summer learning because we want to prevent that summer slide, which is where kids that maybe don't have access to academic supports in the summer, they fall behind their peers and it's hard for them to catch up.
Right.
So reading and math, I believe there was an 80% increase amongst those kids that participate. So we're very excited about that. And big thank you to all of our summer providers that worked with us directly.
Absolutely.
I brought multiple things here.
You have lots happening.
I don't know where to start. And I think I've discovered, we're going to get to our guests. I think I discovered our local superheroes kryptonite, which is being on a TV show. so I'm just watching the body language. All right. So real quick, we talk about our funded programs and, what we do and the impact, but we do much more than that. We don't always get a chance to really highlight that. We're going to highlight one aspect of that with our local superhero today in a minute. But another thing that we've been focusing on, really concentrating, I would say in the last 4 years, is capacity building with our nonprofits. It's really taken kind of a couple of separate tracks, if you will. We offer specific topic workshops like trauma-informed care, dyslexia, power of dyslexia, for example. But we also are really concentrating, in grant writing, which I'll talk about in a minute, but we've really been focusing on leadership. Because what we found is, we're really good at the nonprofit world about working with the population that we're serving, but a nonprofit is a business and it needs to be treated as a business. There's profit loss, not profit loss, there's income, revenue coming in and out. And so we've been partnering with the Community Foundation of Martin, St. Lucie County to offer basically a leadership institute, about 40 to 50 middle managers to upper management go through. It's a 5-week course, intensive course on leadership, which also includes individual coaching in between. But we're helping to kind of build the bench strength, if you will, of some of our nonprofit organizations to make sure that, for example, if a nonprofit leader were to leave, we've seen this in the past, there's usually a little bit of 6 months to a year, if not longer, where they kind of struggle to get their footing back in. But if we can build up the middle management, if we can build up that bench strength, those agencies can continue forward.
And I think too, I had the opportunity to go in, our superhero had the opportunity to go through it as well. But I think the thing that was really interesting is that, we talk often in our community, specifically in the nonprofit world, about the collaboration that happens between our organizations. And to have a group of people that are kind of moving at the same pace or on the same level, find each other as resources, as kind of a cohort to move forward as they're advancing in their careers it has really strengthened, I think, the capacity of those individuals, but also the capacity of the work that's happening in the community. So that's been really cool to see.
And so just to wrap up, put a little bow on this capacity building. We do have a couple of monthly series that, quite honestly, everybody's welcome to, I should say. One is on the second Friday of each month at 9 a.m. at the Children's Services Council. And we advertise it on Facebook and it's on our website, all that fun stuff. We do something called Coffee with the Grant Writer. If you're in the nonprofit world, you're very familiar with grants. If not, majority of funding that nonprofits receive, a lot of it comes from grants.
Right.
So you have to be able to write grants to effectively communicate what it is that you're proposing to do. We partner with Innovant Consulting, Jody Riley. We provide the coffee. She walks participants through some aspect of grant writing and/or answers any questions that you have related to grants. We also attend because we also provide the perspective from a funder. Because we review a lot of grants that come applying to us. So anyway, that's the second Friday of each month at 9 a.m. And just to mix it up, your time on the third Friday at 8 a.m., we have something called Brewing Leadership, which is, again, centered around coffee.
There's a theme.
Yeah, caffeine is, is
Our
everything.
favorite.
Yeah. So at 8 a.m., it's kind of the same concept. We're partnering with Jesse Ferrera.
One day you'll say it right.
Jesse
to
do something called Brewing Leadership. She walks the participants through an aspect of leadership, and it's kind of an interesting take. So we encourage you to attend that one. We do ask you to register for because it is brand new, and we're trying to get a gauge on the audience, how many people will attend. But if you're interested and you want some more information, please check out our website or our social media, Facebook and/or the Book of Face, however you want to look at it. We're also on Instagram. It's kind of the same thing, minus the words. A little bit different take. It's better. Yeah, it's a little behind the scenes, but be sure to follow us on Facebook. Look up Children's Services Council, St. Lucie County. On IG, that's what the OGs say. Instagram, I'm just making stuff up. Instagram, just look up St. Lucie CSC. and follow us.
Yeah, there
All
you
right,
go.
you want to go to, when we're walking through this, right? It's always fun to keep an eye on the guests. There's some guests that are a little nervous. Some guests are like, take a little nap before we get in because this is old school for them. I think this is our local superhero's kryptonite.
For sure.
Being in front of a
I don't
television
know.
camera.
He loves it.
Does he love
He
it?
secretly-
We're going to find out right now.
He secretly loves
We're
it.
anxiously just going to watch.
He secretly loves it. So for those of you who have been with us for a while, you have heard about our literacy initiative. You have heard us talk about St. Lucie Reads. You have watched it grow over the last few years. But one of the very cool things that St. Lucie Reads has brought to us is Bookman. And so Bookman has
I feel like there
joined
should be a
us.
ta-da whenever
Like
we say it. Something.
Fancy music happening. So Bookman is joining us today. September happens to be National Literacy Month. And so we thought it would be a good opportunity to bring him on and so he can kind of talk a little bit about what's been happening at Children's Services Council, what he's doing out in the community, and kind of some of the things that we've seen happen over the last few years as literacy has grown.
And not for nothing, but look at those muscles. Look what reading can do. Reading can give you muscles. Am I right, Bookman?
Yes.
Muscles here and muscles
That
here.
is
Yes.
impressive. That is impressive stuff. So I don't know, Bookman, where you want to start. If you want to kind of start with how you got here, how St. Lucie Reads has sort of grown into this Bookman-led initiative for Children's Services Council. But
You got to show us how you fly. I mean, all this stuff, man.
we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do in a short amount of time. But talk to us a little bit about kind of how Children's Services Council adopted this and how you got here.
Whew. Okay, I'm looking at the time. So it is kryptonite. This is like probably like the 8th time I came, but every time I'm still nervous. But so Bookman is part of the Children's Services St. Lucie Reads initiative. It's a public campaign, and the goal of the campaign is in making sure every child read on grade level by the 3rd grade in St. Lucie County. It's a network of businesses, organizations just working together to support reading, supporting the school district. Because at the end of the day, the school district is just one part of the work and to get every child reading. So I come in because books is a big part of learning to read. So some kids, we serve don't have books at home, don't have access to a local library, whatever the reason is, there's barriers for them to have access to books. So as Bookman, I try to share my love and passion for reading, share my many books. That's where the muscles come from, all the book carrying. So kids out there, you have the superpower of reading, but you may not build these muscles because this is just hours of lifting heavy books. So this past year, I'm working on the numbers, putting the numbers together to see how much books that we've distributed. But I could say it's well over 10,000 free books and new books as well. That's the big thing with me is just providing brand new books. Because yes, the gently used books are good too. But for me, I know I've seen the faces of kids when they see something beautiful, brand new book and it's theirs. And it's like, no, you don't have to give it back. It's all yours. So I love that. I'm big on just sharing my love and passion and the fun that I have when it comes to reading. My other half maybe not like reading as much, but as Bookman, I love reading, and I want to share that passion because the kids learning to read is one thing, but once they learn to read, we want them to continue learning to learn. Read to learn, I mean. So that's my big passion, and we have a great team in the community that's been supporting. So I don't know where to start.
Go ahead.
I like what you said, Bookman, because we very much live in a world, and we're the same way, where we look at data and accountability, and we're looking at reading scores for the district, which, by the way, are up dramatically. And we put a lot of, I feel like there's sometimes a lot of pressure on the school systems to be like, why are our children doing this, this, and this? But think about a child is only at school like at best a third of their time. The rest of the third, they're with their parents or in their home environment. And if we want to encourage reading, we can't put that on the backs of teachers who are, working on multiple subjects at multiple times. It has to be reinforced in the home. And the way to reinforce that in the home is to model reading.
Well,
and
and
to have,
everywhere in the community.
And have the books available. So that's really the kind of the gap that you're filling with those muscles carrying those books around.
Yes, and it's not just me. We have a network from this Early Learning Coalition, because reading starts before they even get to school, before they even start BPK. So we have Early Learning Coalition, we have the Boys and Girls Club, we have just so many organizations. I don't want to start naming it because then my memory would forget someone. But it's not just us, it's just a team, and we're working together. I'm big on teamwork, like we mentioned earlier about leadership, and I went through the class and I've learned about leadership and how I could be a leader and where I'm at. So I'm working on helping guide the network and ways to support the school, because at the end of the day, like you said, the teachers can only have so much time, and there's organizations like Learn to Read who help even the parents and the grandparents, the caregivers to learn to read, because sometimes there are kids who's going to homes and maybe their caregiver or their parents may not even know how to read themselves. Such as myself, my grandma never learned how to read her whole life. So, but we were able to, learn ourselves and be able to help her manage some things. So that's sometimes the place that some kids find themselves. And so we're just here to support.
I think one of the things that's been really cool, and before Bookman/John came along, Sean and I were responsible. Sorry. Sean and I were responsible for St. Lucie Reads. And at the time, it was like kind of this machine that we were like, get books out. Whatever it looks like, get books out. And when John came on board, I think one of the things that really shifted for us was that John reminded us that kids want to read books they want to read. So if there weren't books that they were interested in, they were a lot less likely to enjoy them once they took them home. So one of the things that I think is really cool that you've been able to do is really make sure that our kids can see themselves in the books, that there are topics that they are interested in, whether it's sports or science or space or dinosaurs or whatever it is, to really make sure that the books that we have that they can choose from are interesting to them. One of the things that I want to make sure we talk about, and one of the ways that we've been able to distribute those books, is through book vending machines. So do you want to talk a little bit about what that looks like in our community?
Yes, so we've been fortunate to have a great partner, or I should say the boat, which Children's Services has been the boat that's been sailing us through our journey. And through the funding and partnerships, we have up to 7 book vending machines in the community. 6 of them are in schools. And the goal is to continue to add more, because we've heard so many good things. The book vending machine is just something different. Because the honest truth is we're competing against TikTok and technology, which is fun. And as an adult, we get stuck, online. So we can't blame the kids if they want to do it too, because it's fun. So we have to find fun ways to try to engage them to get their attention as well. So I think book vending machine has been one of those things that it's something fun, something different, and something that just connects the good feeling with a book. So those have been fun. We hope to be able to partner with more schools this coming school years to be able to add 1 or 2. And through the funding and support through Children's Services and other funders, we've been able to help restock book vending machines so they can have books in each of the book vending machines.
So I think you probably got a lot of, I'm guessing a lot of school personnel watch this show, so you probably got their attention. They're like, hey, wait a minute, my school doesn't have a book vending machine. How do I make that happen? So how does somebody make a book vending machine happen?
They can reach out to our office, the Children's Services office, and we can talk to them. But what we ask is we at the Children's Services, we'll do half, and we ask for the schools to have some buy-in so they could do the other half. I know some schools may not be able to have that, but there's other partnerships. So we have some partners as well in the community, some businesses that may be able to come in and step in and be able to provide the other half. But we just want some buy-in. We don't want it just us, but we want it more to be a team effort, a partnership. So if a school is interested, they can reach out to us. Or Bookman if he's around, or myself if I'm around, or John, and we could talk and start that discussion.
So if I want Bookman, is there like a symbol I have to shine into a cloud in the sky, or how do we get a hold of Bookman?
We actually have on our Children's Services website, you could request Bookman. But before I say that, please make note that Bookman does have his own family that he has to spend time with on the weekends. So try to stick to literacy based, because I've been invited to certain things and it's just,
You're a popular guy.
This has nothing to do with reading.
No birthday parties,
No
right?
birthday
No individual
parties.
family birthday
Unless it's
parties. Yeah.
literacy theme, and I'll have to strongly consider. But yes, I like attending things that have literacy base. And if it's like a community health fair, maybe we could have discussion, maybe bringing books into it, because at the end of the day, books, you can connect it with many topics and themes. But please try to remember that it's literacy based.
So we did have the opportunity last week, I don't know if time is irrelevant lately, last week to do a really cool event in partnership with the St. Lucie Mets and the Chamber of Commerce, who's a great partner of ours. But we were able to give out free tickets to students who came to the Mets game, but also free books. And I think we distributed just over 500 books.
Yes, it was about 550. We actually ran out. I didn't bring enough books because I thought it was going to rain, and I didn't want so many books getting lost in the rain. But it didn't rain; it stayed clear, and we actually ran out. And unfortunately, some kids didn't have it, but it was cool. Some of them that came were excited and heard about it, so that was super cool. And we thank you. That's one of those things about partnership, bringing, connecting baseball and connecting just fun with books. So that was a great opportunity, and hopefully next time it won't rain and we could bring more books out.
It was a great time. It was I think the second highest attended game they've had all season. Yeah. So we had a good time handing out tickets to everybody. But thank you to everyone who came.
And also, I want to say that, a lot of people may think of book distribution. They may have heard about Read to Succeed, the Big Apple Pizza. And I think most people know that we were part of that origin story as well, helping Scott set that up and providing books until he got Scholastic to buy in. But you oftentimes fly by on those nights to say hi to the kids.
Yes, and those are fun. And it's the first couple years I was able to go nightly and go to both locations, the Bayshore Big Apple's location and then the Fort Pierce, and just seeing the kids sitting, reading a pizza and just reading books with friends and family was just a beautiful time. And with them having a book and finding a book and being able to take it home. So it's been a blast. My schedule has shifted some, so I'm not able to attend all of them, but I try my best to attend which ones I can.
So the fun thing about Bookman, and actually, I don't know if you've ever traveled to a school with Bookman, for example.
I have.
If you have, you are invisible.
Absolutely.
Actually, you work
downstairs in the lobby of this building.
Yeah, you work as the body man for Bookman because you get swarmed by kids. And what's great about that is, it's a great costume, and we'll talk about your origin story. But what a better way to generate excitement about reading.
Yeah.
So, how many, we hear it all the time, even when you're a child. You need to read. Don't watch TV. Don't get on your phone. Don't get on tablet. Read. But what gets them excited to read? A superhero that focuses on reading will get children excited. And if you want proof of that, invite John to your school, Bookman to your school, and you will be swarmed.
Yeah, and I love the faces and the smiles. And one of the things I am passionate about is giving them the opportunity to fall in love with reading. Like you said, as adults, sometimes we say reading is important, and it is important, but sometimes it may not be the best way of introducing them, because at the end of the day, we're competing with AI, which just gives them the information so they don't have to go and learn it themselves. So we have to find ways of introducing it, making it fun, so once they learn to read, they can continue reading to continue learning. Because at the end of the day, the more they learn, the better our community as a whole grows, because one day there'll be adults and there'll be future leaders, and we need them to know what they're talking about.
So we talked about big stuff, not big stuff, but we talked about the book vending machine. That requires a buy-in, monetary buy-in. We talked about the major book distribution Mets, and we've done various things partnering with Big Apple. But we have an opportunity for everybody to get involved. And I'm thinking three things. One, becoming a reading mentor. Two, donating your gently used children's books, because we made the mistake of just saying books one time, and trust me, we got a lot of 1970s encyclopedias, children's books, and or if they have a business, a small business, or an area where families wait, we can set up a little library for them.
Yeah, so the little libraries have been well. I haven't been able to fly because my Bookman schedule has increased so much in the last few years, but the little libraries is just a great way, because a child may not go to a local library or may not have access, but the goal is to have books everywhere in their community, from the laundromat to the doctor's office to the church. So they have books everywhere, access to free books everywhere in their community. So there's my goal and dream is no reason to say a child don't have book at home, because there is so many books available in this community.
So the little library, the way it works, and I believe you can sign up on the website,
yes.
Right? But we'll come out, Bookman will come out, John or Bookman.
John will come
One of them will come out.
Somebody with muscles will come out.
One of them will come out. It's a little wire book rack, and then we stock it with books. And then the business owner or the church, whatever, will call us and say, hey, the books are out. But the idea is you have books available, families are waiting, kids can pick up the books, parents can read with them, or they can read on their own, and then they can take that book with them and build their own library at home, so they have reading material at home.
Yes, and there's some locations that restock their own book, which I love, and then there's some that call me so often, and I've learned the hard way to just give them a big buck so I don't have to come so often. But it's good to hear the kids get excited, and it draws the kids to the community. I know Unite Against Poverty, for example, their shelf always goes because as the families come to shop for the groceries, they grab a book, and so it's cool to see that the kids are excited and taking the book. So
that is
very
awesome.
Cool. It's very cool.
And so, in regards to book donations, so if we get gently used books, those are in turn given out through the little libraries, through the book vending machines, through our events. Is that the concept?
yes, the gently used books, most of them go towards the little library because trying to keep those maintained with new books are costly. So we try to use the gently used books for those, the little libraries. The new books, we try, for the book vending machine specifically, try to brand new books. But we always take in because we always distribute as well. The younger kids books, the board books, the younger kids books are what we need most of. We have chapter books sometimes at a certain age. If you don't catch the kids at a certain age, try and get them to read a book then is a little harder, a little more challenging. So we need more of the younger kids because if we get them to fall in love as a younger child, it's a lot easier as they get older.
Yeah, I want to just, because we only have a couple of minutes too, I want to give a shout out. Like you talked about the partners in the network, but we also have a significant volunteer population that you have kind of roped into helping us with this initiative. And so for most recently, Expansion Church helped hugely with that Mets event, distributing books, had volunteers come out with us. But you also have a really cool group of seniors in our community from Riverland that come frequently to the office and help us sticker the books and get the information out. And so big thank you to anybody who's helping us with that, who's doing that for us, with us, and call us if you're interested.
So real quick, we have like a minute and a half left. In a minute, because we didn't do this from the jump, can you tell everybody your origin story?
Oh, I've been avoiding it. So long story short, as a younger kid, I didn't like reading. I went on a field trip, ended up being in the library. I got bored trying to find something. I got locked in and woke up and everybody was gone and I had to find my way out. And there's books and I had to start reading it. And as I read, everything just got bigger and I got wiser and able to be able to find my way. And by the time I found my way out, I gained all these muscles trying to lift books, read them, and I gained so much knowledge. So that's the long story.
And that's what got you out of the library, right?
I love it.
Yes.
Expanded your imagination, and here you are today as a superhero.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Impressive.
So again, you can find all that information at our website, but also we have a separate website that's actually really connected. It's stluciereads.org.
Yes.
And the saint is STLUCIE reads, READS.org. I'm committed. I guess I have to spell it all out. But they can find out all that information about how to become a reading mentor through Big Brothers Big Sisters, how to donate books, have a little library, the book vending machine, request for Bookman, everything is there.
Yeah.
You even have reading tutorial videos, correct?
Yes, they're still there.
So by all means, check it out. And remember, September is Literacy Month. So if you have little ones, make sure that we're encouraging reading. All right, folks, we're out of time. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's a monthly television show, so guess what?
We'll be back.
We'll be back next month. We want to thank you for tuning in. A reminder that it's our children, our community, our future. Now more than ever, we're all in this together. We'll see you next time.